This is Pop Culture on Blast. Hi, I'm Josh.
I'm Justin.
And I'm Tim.
All right, I unearthed something the other day about sliders. And, I was actually quite surprised that they're considering rebooting this show, this very nearly forgotten show from the 90s. Yeah. I'm going to read a quote from Jonathan Rhys-Davies, who played Arturo on the show. Did I get that name right? It's Arturo?
Yeah.
Is it, I don't know names.
Jerry had been pestering me for Jerry O'Connell.
Yeah. Obviously.
Well, I know you guys know that. Somebody else might not. Jerry had been pestering me for a number of years, and we were actually talking to NBC at the moment to see if there's any possibility of rebooting the series.
That's cute. The first guy to bail on the show is the guy that's trying to bring it back. Mm-hmm. What a douche.
Well, let him, man. Let him get some work.
Did he leave first, or did Jonathan Rhys?
Well, as this article on comicbook.com says, Jonathan Rhys-Davies left first. He was written out of the show.
That's right.
At the end of season 2.
Was there only 2?
Well, there was 5 seasons, but he was written out at the end of season 2, and they brought in Carrie Wooer.
Kara Wooer.
I can't pronounce her name correctly.
Yeah.
To bring in more sex appeal. Right. And
obviously,
yeah, she's hot. So it worked for that part anyway. I think they were doing just fine with his character. But anyway, the idea that they would actually bring back this show.
But Jerry O'Connell is the one really wanting to do it?
Yeah. Fine. I think it's a good idea. Why not? I think
a reboot or a continuation?
It said...
Or a light reboot.
No, they mentioned the word reboot in this article, but the way that Jonathan Rhys-Davies is framing it is that it's going to contain the original characters.
Okay.
I don't know if that means Clavant Derricks as...
Oh, what was his name on the show?
Yeah,
that's going to drive me nuts.
Tim's going to look it up.
He stayed through the whole series.
He was there all 5 seasons.
Well,
he was the only the only original cast member who stayed.
Yeah.
What else has he done, honestly?
I don't know him from anything else.
Because we're talking about this, we probably should have looked it up so we know. But didn't he die in the show?
Yeah, it was written that he was dying of like a disease of some kind, and he stayed behind in one of those worlds.
Right. Now, what happened to Jerry O'Connell's character? He didn't die. I know he went off on another adventure of some sort, right? Or did he die?
No, he didn't die.
They left him on a world.
I don't remember. I know they brought his brother on.
Yeah.
I remember that.
That was the weirdest thing.
It was strange. But I think it was more along the lines of, wasn't he replaced by a different actor at one point?
Not playing the same character.
No, I think playing the same character.
I don't think so.
Okay, well, maybe they got someone Jerry O'Connell-like to come in and fill that void. Because I think he left at the end of season 4. Mm-hmm. So what?
I can picture the guy, but he was not playing the same character. He was someone else they picked up.
Well, they had the... it was Clavant Derricks.
Yeah.
Jonathan Rhys-Davies, Jerry O'Connell, and then there was the first girl. Right, and she
left too.
She left at the end of probably 3.
I think
because they had her and Kari Wooer together briefly, and then
so she must have left at the beginning of, like, say, the 3rd season.
Maybe because they went from Fox to Sci-Fi.
Right.
And I think they were on Sci-Fi for
the rest of their run. Like
I think so.
3 years.
I think so. Anyway, I think the idea of bringing it back, hey, I'm all for it. Sure, why not? I think something that Jonathan Rhys-Davies points out is that now, with the technology we have now and the ability to make very cinematic TV shows, I think Sliders would benefit greatly from that, because one of the things that held them back
was their budget.
They were trying to
do with that budget.
Yeah, they were trying to make something on an epic scale every week with a 90s TV budget on Fox, which didn't work, and they tried their best. And let's face it, the show was mediocre at best. They had at best. They had some standout episodes.
Sure.
Primarily from their first season.
Yeah, I would say so.
But
the problem is, it's inherently a concept that can very easily get stale. You know, I mean, Quantum Leap, for example, does a similar thing where you take the character and he goes to a different setting. It's still Earth and all of that, but it's you could almost say it's a different dimension because it's a different time. It's time he doesn't know. But that show was so well written that the stories they encountered were interesting. But with Sliders, I think the problem they had wasn't so much the budget, because they, just by the nature of their concept, it was alternate Earth. So like things could look basically the same, but I think they ran into a problem of just, I don't think they had the right minds behind the stories, and the stories weren't engaging enough. Like you said, there would be occasional one that stuck out. You know, like there was one world I remember vaguely where they got to not world, what do we call it? Alternate Earth, dimension. I don't know what words they used in the show.
I think they called them either alternate Earth or world. I think you're
okay.
Right.
Well, you know, they got to one Earth that was
like
so
really close.
Yeah. But there was like one thing that was off, and they're like, this is going to be a problem.
Home. Yeah.
You know, and they decided to slide on, and they did think about like, maybe we'll just stay here because this is as close as we're going to get. Like my mom's here, you know, but it was just, so I forget what it was. There was something
I know what it is.
That was off.
I know what it is because I'm a dork. It was the Golden Gate Bridge was blue, I believe, and Jerry O'Connell was the first one to suspect that something wasn't right. He could feel things were just a little bit off. Everyone else was having a great time.
Yeah.
But he saw that there was a Super Bowl. He remembered it vividly. He's like, that team did not win. This isn't right.
Uh-huh.
And then
because like they think they're home for a minute.
They think they're home, and they start going back to their lives. But then he sees that, wait, this isn't right. And then I think they run into, I think it's Jonathan Rhys Davies' alternate self, who is not a good guy in this alternate reality. I think that's what starts to really spoil things over. And then they realize, oh yeah, we're not home. But they actually did get home once.
Oh really?
Yes, they did. And they left, and they didn't realize it because I can't remember which season this was in. Probably 2, because I think the whole cast was there. They were in the front of Jerry O'Connell's house, and it was a very typical looking suburban home with the white picket fence out front. And they were walking around, and Jerry O'Connell's like, I think we're home. And everyone else is thinking, yeah, I agree. This is feeling right. And then he gets up to his fence, and it has one of those like gates, you know?
Yeah.
And he's like, this fence has squeaked since I was 9 years old. If it squeaks,
I remember that.
If it squeaks, that means we're home. And I'm like, what if they oiled it? Like, you don't know that. And so he moves it, and it doesn't. And he's like, rats. And then they slide on literally right there in front of the house. And then his mom comes out, and he's like, I wonder if Jerry's ever going to come home. Like, they were home. Like, that was where they were supposed to be. Oh, and it's because his freaking fence didn't squeak. Yeah, like, did you want to check things out first?
I believe didn't she have someone take care of the squeak?
It was something like that.
Yeah, she had someone. But no, the one thing, I've been quiet so far because you guys seem to...
I was enthralled with Josh's...
There are several episodes...
I was really setting it up there, wasn't I?
There are several episodes that actually has stuck with me to this day. And, you know, if they can bring that back, that's good. There's the one where the Earth's rotation was slower, so it was like the 80s.
Yeah, it was like time travel, yeah.
And he met his younger self.
Himself, and he stopped him from hitting that kid.
That was a brilliant idea.
There was the...
See, that's when they can make it work.
Yes.
When they make it a personal
story. Do things
story.
like that.
There was the world where the American Revolution failed, and we were still an English colony.
Right. I like that stuff. Yeah.
And they were still in Texas, and they're sitting there trying to write the Declaration of Independence and stuff, and they're like, oh, let's leave 2 out, and let's do this. And, you know, and then they introduced the species who could slide as well, and they were taking over other worlds.
The Cro-Mags.
That's when I checked out.
Yeah,
I was like,
that's when it got
stupid.
Goofy. It was like aliens now.
Yeah, I was done.
Technically, they weren't aliens. They were Cro-Magnon man who evolved instead of Homo sapiens.
Brendan Fraser.
No, he was Homo sapien.
Link.
He wasn't Cro-Magnon.
No, the Cro-Mags.
Did you say where's the juice?
Yeah.
Well, he would actually be good as a Cro-Magnon, truthfully.
Well, now he's on Doom Patrol.
Well, he's the voice on Doom Patrol.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
For the robot or android.
I didn't see the episode, but apparently there was an episode that was a flashback that shows him in human form. So
And it's actually him?
It's actually
Cool.
Brendan Fraser.
You know, that's one thing they should bring back.
What?
Encino Man.
Seriously.
I want to know what happened to Link
Let's see Encino
and,
Kids.
and Stony, man. What happened to those guys?
Yeah.
I mean,
I'll go see
You know
that.
Pauly Shore would do it.
They're rebooting, they're bringing everything. They're discussing bringing Buffy back.
Oh, boy.
Well, forget Buffy. Bring back Encino Man.
What I'm saying is they're bringing everything back.
Why don't they bring back or remake good
Good show
shows
like BJ and the Bear. There's a concept I can't get enough of. A man and his monkey. Okay, well, speaking of good episodes, you remember there was the one with where like Russia had won the World War II, and it was like they had communist stuff everywhere. Remember that? Or when there was the asteroid that was going to hit Earth, and like there was no nuclear weapons, never existed, so they had no way of blowing it up.
I like that. See, that's it's when the show got hung up on this recurring villain thing where it checked out for me.
That episode, I believe, they had to teach them how to make nuclear. The doctor, the big guy, what's his face? Arturo. He had to teach them how to make nuclear weapons.
Yeah.
In order to stop this meteor, and he's
Right.
like, I don't want to do this because of this, but if we don't, this planet dies. And see, like I said, that was good. That was good choices. If they can keep stories like that and not be the one where, oh my God, there's the T-Rex that looks like crap.
Oh yeah, they had those like early.
That's like when they went on,
TV CG T-Rex.
when they went on
Not a good mix.
Sci-Fi, I believe, is when they
Yeah.
had that episode on, because I remember seeing that on there, and I'm just like, are you freaking kidding me?
Yeah, and they had. I mean, and yeah, a lot of it was kind of goofy. They had they had Stand By Me alum was on there.
Right. Corey Feldman.
Corey Feldman did an episode with him, which was cool, but the episode was goofy. It was like tornadoes were like, hunting people or something, and I was like, this is weird. But the only thing I liked was that they did the skin it thing
At the end.
in the episode. But you have to look really close.
The way they did it was freaking brilliant.
It was just
perfect.
subtle enough. You're like, only a fan would notice.
Can I say it? Can I say how that played out?
Go ahead.
Yeah.
So at the end of the episode, much like Quantum Leap, their portal would open and they jump through. So Corey Feldman, of course, like you said, Stand By Me, with Jerry O'Connell. The whole episode plays with not one single wink to the fact that these actors go back to this famous movie. At the very end, they're in like a little bunker or something like that. The portal opens. The three other people, they're walking by Corey Feldman saying their goodbyes. They shake his hand. They give him a hug. Shake his hand. Give him a hug. And it's down to Jerry O'Connell. And with not a word said about it, he puts his hand out and they skin it. And then he just leaves. And I was like, perfect, man. They don't say it. They don't talk about it. They just did it and left. Genius. It's what I wanted from the scene interaction in Enterprise when
Dean
Stockwell shows up. And they didn't do it. They didn't do anything.
Nope.
And what I wanted them to do was something very similar, where he and Archer went to like shake hands, but then they don't. Like, I wanted to like hint that they would try and touch, but it would never happen, like Quantum Leap, where he could never touch.
I just thought they would do something like, oh boy.
Seriously.
that would have been good too.
Just something like in his presence, just once.
But they never did anything
No.
to even wink at it, which really
I just
pissed
thought,
me
or
off.
it would have been cool if he had like a
Ziggy,
like a diagnostic device. And he's
Yeah.
like, he's hitting it like he
And
would
you
hit
hear it
Ziggy.
go,
He's like teleportation, something like that. That would have been a fun little callback.
Yeah, they didn't
and then
do
just have
anything.
him turn around and be, oh boy.
Yeah,
those things never work.
That would have been too much, but they did it so well
Yeah.
in that.
Well, okay, so a question back to Sliders.
Yeah.
Would this show work now that these actors are older if they come back? Because the whole
why
plot
not?
was he was a boy genius. He was the
That's right.
best. And
Well, since unfortunately none of us quite remember what happened to his character,
Did you find out?
I didn't know I was supposed to find that out. I
Well-
believed I was looking for other things.
well, I would say, like you said, in the original show, he was the boy genius.
Right.
He was always peppy and all of that. Wherever his character went, maybe he's bitter and pissed off now. Have him play against type. John Rhys Davis, obviously, he's classic Hollywood. He'll be the same guy. What was it? Cleveland?
Clevant Derricks.
Wait, did he? Was his name Cleveland?
No, he had a show name because he was a singer.
I felt like it was like a city name or something.
Regardless, you might be right.
He's going to basically play that guy, which I'm fine with. And I hope they get the original girl, because she had a real connection with Jerry O'Connell. Like, they had a quasi romance going that never really happened. Kari she was okay, but I never felt like she was really right for that show. So I hope they get the original girl back. I don't know what she's doing, but I think them coming back at this age could work, and I think they should grow them, and have them be a little different. And, I don't know how the original show ended, so I don't know.
As I read, they left on a cliffhanger, actually.
Okay, so you could certainly argue that, what was his name? Clevant Derricks. Clevant Derricks. You could certainly argue that he's been doing this ever since, and he's going to be burned out.
Okay. Not to interrupt, but my connection works. So, Sabrina Lloyd played Wade. That was the original girl.
Raid, yes.
Wade Wells. Jerry O'Connell was Quinn.
Right.
Clevant Derricks, Rembrandt.
Oh, okay.
And Kari Wuhrer actually is credited as captain. So she was apparently in the military.
On her planet, because she wasn't from theirs, if I remember correctly.
It was Maximilian Arturo.
Okay.
So.
What is Sabrina? Is Sabrina Lloyd still acting?
Well, I'll let you know.
Okay. But yeah, I mean, to wrap that thought up, I think they would all be fun to come back. And yeah, I think they could definitely continue where their stories left off, which were in different places.
She is still acting. It is sporadic, but she still does act. But I think, considering...
Where would this come back to? Sci-Fi?
Well, he said NBC. They originally...
Oh.
Well, if it was Fox that owns it, I guess ABC wants to buy it, I guess.
Really?
But I think they might be wise to scrap a lot of that stuff that came out in the latter seasons, like with the Cro-Mags.
Oh, yeah.
Why not? They did it with Roseanne.
No, true, but I would say
and Superman Returns.
With the exception of Rembrandt, most of these characters didn't experience that anyway. So just go back to just don't reference it. It happened, but don't talk. They can mention Cro-Mags or something, but I don't want to see them. Don't do any of that crap, because I don't think anyone really got into it.
Well, I think if they did bring this back, it would be along the lines of like a Force Awakens type thing, where it's a soft reboot, because who but dorks like us remember
the story? Well, maybe you could have one or two characters join them, because the opening episode, for example, could be a young guy who...
Tim has found something.
Tim knows what happened to Quinn.
Okay, what happened?
What?
Quinn was merged with his brother Colin.
Which is why he looks like his brother.
So
they were unwillingly used an experiment by Dr. Oberman Geiger to merge people and parallel worlds. As a result of this experiment, Quinn was merged with a fraternal double of his who was referred to as Malloy, although his double's personality became dominant. What the fuck? Perfect.
All right.
And so they tried to unstick him, but that's what happened to him at the end of season 4, because he stuck around until season 4.
Okay. So that explains where he went.
So technically he's dead?
He's merged.
They could
de-merge him.
They tried. It says they were merged too long.
Well, obviously
if they do
in the new show they will fix that.
If they do a soft reboot, they may just ignore a lot of things and just bring back the concept, more or less.
Well, I guess we'll find out.
Do the standard opening on him as a professor.
They may just say like, okay, everything after season 2, not continuity.
Why not?
They may just wash their hands of it.
If Disney gets it, Disney does whatever the hell they want with continuity, truthfully.
I think they could go either direction, a soft reboot or a continuation. I mean, you could argue that the whole thing is a soft reboot anyway. I mean, it's the same damn. It's a Quantum Leap concept. Even if they brought Quantum Leap back, it's the same thing. You know what I mean? It's continuing his story, but it was a very formulaic show as far as.
Yeah, but that ending though, come on, Quantum Leap.
Oh, I know.
Speaking of which, why don't they bring that back?
Quantum Leap?
Yeah.
They totally. My God,
Why
that
don't
would be
they?
amazing. Even if it was for a limited run. Just bring it back.
It seems like a great idea.
I think they should.
If they'll bring back sliders,
Let's check
why
the
can't
Google
they
machine.
I mean,
Scott Bakula.
Scott Bakula, he's got a show, but it's not going to last forever. And bring him back. Do it.
Dude, it's an NCIS. Those things spread worse than cockroaches.
Yeah, but the ancillary shows don't always last as long. I would donate to see that show happen.
I mean, it did end.
Badly.
I wouldn't say badly, because that last episode is really good.
Oh, the episode. Let me rephrase. It's the last 10 seconds.
It's bittersweet in a way.
When they say
because
he
he
never
does
comes
reunite Al
Yeah.
with.
I hated it.
Okay.
Just that bit at the end, right?
Yes, I hated that. That didn't make any sense for his character. His whole entire purpose of the show was for him to try and find a way home. He finally has the ability to go home. Yes, he reunites, but he could have gone home at any time. He has, I believe, a wife or a fiance.
He has a wife.
He has a wife. He has someone waiting for him, but he decides to never go home, even after he meets God. Come on.
I know that it didn't make sense. Like, why would they do that to us? You know, give us the text, Sam, or give us the never-ending story ending where Sam had many great adventures
But
before
that's
returning
another
home.
story.
But that's another story. Fine, we know he got home. Okay.
Well, admittedly, they didn't know it was going to be.
I know, but they didn't have to put text that said he never got home. He did a couple things, then went home. Fine.
That's right. They didn't have to say that.
That was a choice they made, and it was
was.
the wrong one. They could say he continued leaping, but he had the ability to go home. That's all we need to know. But to firmly say Sam Beckett never returned home, stab us in the heart, why don't you? And like Tim said, if he has the ability to go home, why wouldn't he? It makes no sense. It's nonsensical,
Well, the way that the bartender made it out to be, Al, the bartender, was that he could return home, and he did. He said sometimes a priest will take a sabbatical. So it's
But
very
they
probable.
said he never returned home.
Okay.
And-
well, he meant it. He meant it as he brought up the idea of priest, as in your mission is divine, as in it's not your choice.
Whoa.
This is your calling. You will do this. You don't have a choice in this, and I don't really like that very much. But they didn't put too much of a fine point on it, and the actor who played. He was perfect.
He was great.
Yes.
The actor
who was
played
actually
God.
in who was
He didn't
coincidentally
say he was God.
He was
no,
God.
he didn't. He's like, oh, you don't really think I'm God?
He
do you?"
could have been like
They
Mr.
always
Destiny.
They always
No.
played it loose with what it was.
Yes.
But coincidentally, he was in the first episode.
Was it?
Yes, he was.
I don't remember.
He was.
He was God. Let's just face it. They play around with it. He was God. But I just read when I looked up. Apparently, last year, the writer for Quantum Leap wrote a movie trying to use that as a reboot starting point, and so far that has gone nowhere.
Oh, right. They
that's a
did want to
shame.
bring it back as a movie at one point.
I don't think that's the format.
No.
I think it needs to be a
I
show.
think
It's a show.
with today's streaming options, there are
Yeah.
plenty of places to shop around a show like that.
Oh, hell yeah.
For the sci-fi
Netflix.
genre.
Netflix
Net-
or Amazon, man. Bring it
Netflix
back.
is going to need plenty because they're losing a lot from Disney and Fox once
Yeah.
those deals are over.
They should get his daughter from the show.
Of course.
Yeah. That would be great.
Yes.
She was working on the project,
Yes.
remember?
Absolutely.
When
Abigail. Not
Yeah.
Abigail.
No, it was Abigail.
No, Abigail was the mom.
Well, Abigail was also his daughter.
They were both named Abigail?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
parents name their children after themselves.
Usually it's
sometimes.
not the girl, though. Usually.
Okay, my sister's named after my aunt.
Yeah, didn't George
and I'm
Foreman
named
name all
after
his
my
kids
brother.
after himself?
Except for one.
George Jr.
George
the
1, George
George
2.
Gina, Georgette.
Jesus.
He took a lot of blows to the head, okay?
But yes, I think even if Bakula, for whatever reason, couldn't come back or wouldn't come back as a regular, have it be about the daughter. She was part of the project, and she will inevitably run into her dad. Continue the...
Would she know it's her dad, though?
Yes.
No, she didn't know.
I thought he said she knew.
She didn't.
Didn't-
Al said she did not know.
Okay. I
What?
stand corrected.
But, okay, I'm trying to remember what happened to the other storyline where pretty much the devil was bringing
The
another...
evil leaper.
Oh,
the evil leaper, because it's like the devil was bringing them in to undo the good. And
Yeah, they
bring
were
the
doing
evil.
bad things.
Yeah.
that was admittedly fun, but also quite stupid.
But they knew.
Admittedly so, but yeah.
Hold on.
It was the actress that sold it. She
It was,
had a
it was a
blast.
good time.
Yeah.
Yes.
And thankfully they did just enough.
Like 2 or 3 of them.
yeah, to where it wasn't that goofy.
But didn't they know each other? Because I believe they came in contact with each other, and there was like the whole flash, and they saw
Yeah.
each
Yes.
other for who they really
they
were.
did.
Yes.
Now Al and her dude couldn't see them as the other people, but
Right.
they did, and she like kept it a secret from them.
Yeah.
That he was who he was.
Yeah, but then they figured it out, and then like 2 or 3 times they encountered each other again. It was a good idea as a concept, but then it's
I don't
like,
remember. It's been a while since I've seen it. Did that actually go anywhere? Where did that storyline go?
Well, it ended with, I think it was where they went to prison together. And at the end, she leaped out of doing what she did. And Sam continued on. But then her hologram, like...
Her Al.
Was, yeah, and her Al, because she leaped in, remember? The hologram person leaped in.
Oh, boy.
Anyway, and she had a hologram. But they, like, went to their version of, like, hell or something like that.
Okay. I don't remember that at all.
I think that's what happened.
But-
But she got away.
Okay.
She got away.
Okay.
Because she was basically being coerced into doing these things, and she didn't want to.
Right.
She was supposed to be a good person.
You could almost like say that's someone's torture. Their hellish torture is to do bad things when they don't want to do it, and all that. But anyway,
Well, this
Bring that
episode has
back.
kind of become about Quantum Leap as well, because it's
Seriously.
a very similar show.
yeah, it is.
And if they're gonna bring back Sliders, I'd say bring back Quantum Leap.
I agree. Has NBC started a streaming service like everyone else yet, or are they waiting?
If you'd be the person to know.
Well, yes, but I'm just
I
wondering.
think they have one, but it's no original content.
It's
just
not.
old
It's not
shows and
CBS
things.
All Access.
Yeah,
it's not the
like that.
DC.
It'll get there. It'll get there.
Unless they just do a straight deal like CW did with Netflix, where a week after everything is out, it's all on there.
Honestly, if you're NBC, wait, okay, I know NBC had Quantum Leap. Which one was it? ABC that had Sliders?
I thought
Fox.
Fox had sliders.
Started out on Fox.
Okay, well,
So technically, wouldn't ABC own them now? Since the deal was approved as of yesterday?
I don't know.
Yeah, maybe.
Anyway, the point I'm making though is that with CBS All Access, they took Star Trek and they're like, this is where it is. This is the new home of Star Trek, to sell their brand. With something, if NBC brings back Quantum Leap, like, don't make a movie, put it on their independent streaming channel, sell it.
Truthfully, I don't think Quantum Leap would be strong enough to bring the type of numbers.
I agree.
They would need something fully original within their own universe
Fair
of
enough.
shows.
But that could be included in the package.
Well, yes,
you know?
that's the thing that keeps people continuing to subscribe. But
Yeah.
you need something big. What would be big enough to put them through the door?
What are some shows NBC had? I really can't.
Well, we know when they're not redoing the Cosby Show, so that one's out of the
Tim's getting
question.
funny now. They did. Well, they brought back Magnum, but that was CBS, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Yes,
that's
and
CBS.
And that was
crap.
That's garbage.
I mean, they have
Is
like
that still going, by the way?
I think
I
it
think
is.
it is.
God, it's
They
a
have like
sacrilege.
8,000 Law and Orders.
Right.
What channel was Cheers on? Because I think they should
That's
bring back
NBC.
Cheers was NBC.
That was NBC.
Because I know they're looking at Frasier. They're talking
They're
about
talking
Reboot,
Frasier.
about continuing Frasier.
Right.
I loved Frasier, and that's great. I'll be eager to watch it. But by God, man, bring back Cheers. That was like the #1 show for
Well,
like a decade.
Ted Danson's on his own show right now, so
And he's still money, man. He can
He
still
is.
play Sam
He showed
Malone.
up in the Orville.
he did. I love that.
I was like, it's Ted Danson.
So I finally got caught
alright.
up on that, by the way.
Okay.
And that was a very good season. I enjoyed
Yeah.
that quite a bit.
But he could totally be Sam Malone. And, I mean,
he
that's
could
a
play
show that they could sell.
even the old Gray Sam, because I like him in The Good Place. He has played multiple versions of his same character. He's played
Sure.
different aspects of him.
I think they could totally do that
And
show,
I
man.
think he could totally sell it, but who else would they bring in? We don't know.
Yeah.
That's a whole other ball of wax. The whole thing just came undone.
We've run the gamut. Let's bring it back home to Sliders.
Okay. Sliders.
I think it. Yeah.
Can't say it with a straight face, people.
No.
Now, do you think in the continuation show they will have that? Sliders.
Well, they better have that. That's
If they
the-
don't,
That's their call
That's their
sign?
hook. Like every
Seriously.
time I talk about it in conversation, I have to do that. So, anyway, I think it'd be great if it came back. I think it'd be great if they got all the cast members back. It does. It has potential. I think it's not very well
It's an odd choice.
It is, to be quite frank.
But it could be great.
But it had a good premise.
Yeah. That wasn't necessarily explored to its full potential.
No.
That could be done now much easier.
Much easier.
You know, you could have CG buildings in the background that completely change the Earth without breaking the bank. You know,
it went left when it should have went right, and that was the problem. They shifted towards full. They tried to overarching storyline. Yeah.
Right.
To where, and that's not the type of show it is. You know, you can connect some dots later down the road, but this show is we want to see what happens here, here, here. We don't want an arc over across the story. We want individual stories.
I miss the days of shows that were they were bottle shows. I missed that.
Self-containing universes.
Yeah.
This one happened here, this one happened here. Then, like, maybe a season or two down the road, have something that, this happened because of this.
Or last a couple episodes, maybe. Sure. I agree.
I think it has great potential. I enjoyed the stories. Crappy 90s CGI, but you can't expect cheap 90s CGI to be good.
Yeah.
Because I think they can do it. I think they can do it well. I would enjoy it to see where it goes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm all for it. I mean, but at this point, we've got a few years to find out if it actually does happen. So, well, if you'd like to subscribe to us, hit that subscribe button, please, in iTunes. Give us a rating, leave us a comment. You can listen to us on YouTube or Spotify. You can tweet at us at Pop Culture on Blast. You can email us directly at pconblast@gmail.com or visit our very generic-looking website at popcultureonblast.libsyn.com. Until next time, I'm Josh.
I'm Justin.
And I'm Tim.